Joe Biden's economic plan proves one thing to me, and that is that he's not the only one in his campaign with dementia. His economic plan reveals a lot of problems, okay? Let me start with just some ironies in this plan. One, he gives this speech in Pennsylvania. Now think about this. Now, he says he's from there, and that's fine. But he's promised to end the fracking industry. And fracking has been such an economic boost to Pennsylvania. There are thousands of people working in the fracking industry. Seems a little tone deaf to me there. And then secondly, this is just funny to me. His economic plan, which is about $700 billion, but they say this is over 4 years. Think about that. I mean, if I had been one of his handlers, I would say, listen, we all know he's only going to be a one-term guy, but we got to present a bigger picture than that. So the economic plan should have been for at least 6-8 years to say, hey, we're going to be here. No, again, tone deaf, just not very smart. So there it is. And lastly, it's called Buy American. I mean, everybody's talking about, Trump, he's plagiarizing Trump. Forget that. Listen, Biden was the guy or one of the guys who stood with Clinton when they passed NAFTA. Totally supportive. And the American people didn't want that. We could see right through that. Unions were against it. Conservatives like me were against it. It was incredible. And yet they promised, yeah, sure, there's going to be a lot of jobs go to Mexico. We now know tens of millions, but this is going to create better jobs, more jobs. It's funny they always say that. It's kind of like the Green New Deal. When I read the Green New Deal and I realize they're going to wipe out the airline industry, wipe out the fossil fuel industry, but yet they say, but it's going to provide millions of new jobs and better paying jobs. I've heard that before. American people, they're like Charlie Brown and Lucy holding the football, where she lifts it up and he falls on his butt every single time. We never learn. It's just incredible. So anyway, the plan itself, I think I mentioned $700 billion over 4 years, which it's almost enough to make me vote for him. And I tell you why. Throughout the Democrat primaries, I was scared to death. They were talking about Medicare for all, government-controlled health care, free tuition, and this Green New Deal. And some of the candidates were saying, 30, 40, 50 trillion dollars. He doesn't mention any of those. And $700 billion, that's it. And there's no jobs with this, and he admitted that. This is just going to be basically government procurement and a little bit of research and development and, of course, clean energy stuff. Nothing. And lastly, he did mention taxes. Being a good Democrat, he's going to raise corporate taxes back to where they were before Trump reduced them. So they'll be the highest tax companies in the world again. And of course, for us, he calls it the common sense tax reform, which means we're all going to pay more taxes. Oh man, what's worse than his dementia? This crazy economic plan.